3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to a brand new episode about Rainbow Six Siege. Today we're gonna discuss the top 10 defense weapons. So let's get started. So for our number 1, we are going to pick obviously the 41C carbine. Not only this is the only carbine that is available for the defense side, but it is one of the strongest weapons that you can equip. Sometimes I find myself playing a recruit so I can have access to this weapon because it has so much power. Damage is 42, rate of fire 740, mobility is 50, capacity is 30. Combine that with a very low recoil and access to the ACOG side, you have one of the most effective weapons on the defending side. Moving on to number 2. Okay, for our number 2, it's also another member of the GSG9. It goes to the MP7. Not only because of the damage, which is 34, rate of fire 900, but also access to the ACOG side. Mobility and capacity is 30. The damage output of this gun is just over the top. If you calculate the damage output, it's right there with the carbine. It's a very effective weapon. The recoil could be on the bit on the high side, but when you put some time behind this gun, it's going to be effective. You're gonna decimate every opponent that you have. You don't even have to go for headshots like most other SMG. You just go for the body shot and you will down them in no time. Moving on to number 3. For number 3, the 9mm C1 submachine gun. Damage is 42, rate of fire 775, mobility is 50, capacity is 34. Combine that with a very medium to low recoil, you will have a very manageable gun. Giving the slow rate of fire of 575, combine that with the somewhat high capacity and moderate recoil, you're going to be able to stay on target, fire for longer, and hit every shot. Combine that plus the damage output of each single round, this gun is just going to be a monster to defeat. It's basically another assault rifle disguised as an SMG. So moving on to number 4. Number 4 on our list is the P90. I know, it's the underdogs of submachine guns. But despite everything that is said about the P90, it's actually one of the most powerful and solid weapons on the defending side. The one downside to this gun is the damage. The damage is 21. Yes, it's slow. But given the state of the game, where everything is about the headshots, you will be able to land those headshots with very ease. Rate of fire is one of the highest ever on the defending side, 970. Mobility is 50. Combine that with a capacity of 50 rounds, you will have a very effective weapon. You will be able to down your enemies in no time unless you get a headshot on them. And I do this all the time. I open lines of sight, I position myself in a good position near the objective. When they come, they don't know what hit them. And plus you have access to the ACOG sights, so the gun is pretty solid, pretty powerful. Damage 21, rate of fire 970, mobility 50, capacity is 50, and the recoil pattern on the medium side. You can run this gun with the extended barrel, as sometimes I like to do, if you know the map is somewhat big and you want to inflict as much damage as possible at those longer ranges. So that's why P90 gets number 4 on our list. Number 5 on our list is the appropriate MP5 submachine gun. Not only this weapon is basically a solid weapon to have on the defense side, it is available for 2 operators, Doc and Rock. The damage is 29, the rate of fire is 800, mobility is 50, capacity is 30. Given that the recoil pattern is somewhat on the medium and very manageable, this gun is a solid weapon to have on the defending side and at your hand. Combine that with access to the ACOG, you will be able to land those headshots on longer ranges with very ease. If you put a few hours behind this gun, you're gonna be very effective. You're gonna be able to down your targets. Moving on to number 6. Moving on to number 6, it's the 9x19 VSN. This gun is available to both Cap Kane and Lord Tachanka. The damage is 34, rate of fire 750, mobility is 50, capacity is 30. The greatest benefits of this gun, the recoil. The recoil is very low, it's very manageable. You will be able to land those headshots in no time. Giving that the damage is 34, which is somewhat on the medium side. Combine that with the lower, with the somewhat medium high rate of fire 750. With that recoil, not a single shot will miss off target. You're gonna be able to land those headshots, those body shots very easily, and it's a very effective weapon to be in your disposal. Moving on to number 7. Number 7 on our list is the MP5. This particular submachine gun is available to Valkyrie. The reason why I picked this for number 7 is the damage is bit on the low side, 25. Rate of fire is somewhat medium to high range, 830. Mobility is 50, capacity is 30. Recoil pattern is somewhat medium to high. The only downside to this gun is somewhat the low damage with the recoil. Sometimes it will get out of hand, but if you put a few hours behind this gun, you will find yourself with a very manageable gun to use, and I suggest that you have a few practice rounds before going into a ranked or even a casual match. Moving on to number 8. Number 8 on our list is the MP5K submachine gun. This particular weapon is only available for one operator, which is Mute. The reason I gave this particular weapon number 8 is the fact there is no ACOG sight on this one, which I have no idea why, but giving that the damage is 29, rate of fire is 800, mobility is 50, capacity is 30, and the recoil is a bit on the low medium to high side, so that's why it takes number 8. Giving that the damage is somewhat on the low side, no access to the ACOG, so it's number 8 on our list. Moving on to number 9. For number 9 we have FMG9, which is available for one operator only smoke. The reason I gave this SMG number 9 on our list is the recoil. Although the damage is 29, rate of fire 800, mobility is 50, capacity is 30, but the recoil pattern, although it may seem very manageable at first, but sometimes it will get away in full auto capability. So if you use this weapon, I suggest that you burst fire at longer ranges, and at very close ranges you go full auto. That's why it gets number 9 on our list. And if you put a few hours behind this gun, you will have a very good weapon to use and a very effective SMG. Moving on to number 10. Moving on to number 10 on our list is possibly the only shotgun entry on this list, the Spaz 15. The damage is 28, rate of fire is semi-automatic, mobility is 50, capacity is 6. Recoil pattern, much like all of the other shotguns, is somewhat high. The two things that made me pick this shotgun is the rate of fire. As long as you can hit the fire button as quickly as possible, the gun will respond. And the range. The range on this Spaz 15 is somewhat on the medium side, so if an enemy is at a threshold of, let's say 10, 11, even 12 meters, you will be able to down him. This gun has some good range behind this, and given with the high rate of fire, I just go full auto, hip fire on any enemy I see, even if they are 3 armor like Fuse or Montaigne, and I will be able to down them. This is why this is the only shotgun entry on our list. The downside is the damage is a bit on the low side, but the gun compensate with that with the fast recoil, the fast reload time, whether it was a long reload animation or the short one, and also with that extended range. No, so I'm sorry. So this has been our entry for the top 10 defensive weapon for Rainbow Six Siege. If you find this video somewhat helpful, smash that like button. Also subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye guys.